Thank you for joining us. It's another Tuesday group healing call. So, yes, there's a big announcement, and I've been sending out a little bit of text messages and kind of like forewarning some people. And it is big news, but it's good news. So, I'll explain. Yes, the group healing calls are ending, but they're not ending like completely. Let me explain. I'd like to bring my journey in the forefront because it's a good learning lesson for a lot of us out there. And if you are hearing me, you probably have gone through something similar. Let me know if you can hear me because I am having problems with my Wi-Fi today and I have no idea why, because it says it's great and it's just going off and on right now. So, what's bubbling up for a lot of people are huge changes. We are shifting, and a lot of us are going through tremendous healing. Now, a lot of you know that I've been on a healing journey for about 15 years now. And each time I go through these shifts, and if you know me, I'll be like, oh my God, I just went through another big shift. And then I have these great inspirations, and I'm always moving forward and doing the best I can, sometimes falling apart, because it's just not the dark night of the soul I've been through. It's been the dark years of the soul, sometimes elated in connection and passion. A lot of light workers out there and old souls. So you're going to get what I have to say. And you're going to get it at a level that means something to you. When we have a theme that we come in with to learn, that theme will exaggerate in some areas of our life, and those areas will actually get bigger and more out of control, and bigger and more out of control the more we ignore them. It's like the universe, our higher selves, the beings of light that support us, our spirit guides. The universe will arrange itself so it puts you between a rock and a hard place until you really are forced to say, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I surrender. I'm done. So I'm going to give you kind of the awakening that I had. So back when I was 23 years old, I had my first awakening. Then I went back to sleep because it was just too difficult. Then when I was 28, I had another awakening. Again, too much pressure from friends and family. You just need to conform, easier to conform. I went back asleep. Then I married, have kids, and what's happened at that time is my body started to fail because I never listened to my awakenings. I didn't listen to the call of my heart, to that knowing of who I really was. So my body failed. I had liver issues, kidney issues, cervical cancer issues. My body was falling apart over the years. I was in intensive care, almost lost my life with being septic with my kidneys. And if that wasn't enough to get my attention, my relationships were a mess. My finances were a mess. And a lot of you can relate to this. So I realized back in about 2009, about 2008, I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember laying down and asking God to take my life. And if either, let me go to sleep and not wake up because I was in severe amount of pain. Or if I meant to do something, I feel it in my heart, then show me what it is because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a mess. I will admit I was complete a mess. So I went to bed that night and I woke up. And I woke up different. I surrendered. And I woke up saying, wow, I'm still here. So there must be that call of my heart. I need to listen to it. I started to listen to those impulses that I started to get. Do this, what feels good. And my life started to change. It was by the grace of God that I connected with Dr. Beatty. Now, Dr. Beatty, a medical doctor who created beam therapy, I fell into her loving arms. not because I was looking for me, because I would have never put myself first. But what happened is they went through my son. Very smart. My son, beautiful, gifted child, very psychic, everything's coming to him. He was considered ADHD. He wasn't actually, he didn't have the title of that because I didn't get him tested. Because I knew there was something more to it. He's just behavioral. Something's wrong, but I don't know how to fix him. Anyway, what happened was one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. All those synchronicities happened. I could stay here and talk for 3 hours, but in a nutshell, his gift led me to beam therapy for him. 3 sessions, this kid went back into a really easy state where teachers could handle him. And I realized they wanted to drug this kid, and energy work is all he needed. 3 sessions, and he was like, I'll explain it. I tell this to everyone. Here's a normal child, and then he was way up there, right? And he's causing a ruckus all day. And beam therapy brought him down to here. Yeah, still he had his gifts, but he was much more easier to deal with, could focus more, because what it did is it released the resistance out of his field, that interference, so he could focus more. Because all of you who know being an empath is not easy. It's very hard to focus when you're bombarded by everyone's energy. So a lot of kids, a lot of adults, I'm sure a lot of us growing up were probably considered behavioral, or we'd space out in class because we were being bombarded by so much energy. Now, that led me to ask Dr. Beatty, what is beam therapy? How did this work? What's going on? And that's when I started to work and mentor with Dr. Beatty for 7 years. She did beam therapy on me. I learned it. I did it on other people. And it just wow, this is just phenomenal. Realizing that I had a healing ability since I was a kid. And I had some really miraculous things happen along the way. But I never realized that I had this. I just assumed everyone had it. And how do you know other people don't have things if it's so natural? So a lot of us are empathic, but we assume the entire world is empathic. Not really. Not everyone's empathic. Being empathic is a curse, and it's a gift all at the same time. For those of you who understand, you can feel and that hurts so much. So through my journey, I had a lot of trauma release, tons of trauma release. Almost embarrassed to say how many sessions I had. It's like close to 100. Now, that's just beam therapy. And then I tried all these other methods. And as I was healing layer by layer, and that's where I always say, you need to do the work. There is no easy way to just get rid of everything like that. There's no magic wand, but it's layer by layer. Now, it doesn't have to be as tedious and drawn out as my journey. The reason I believe that I had to go through the bottom of the bottom and work my way up through all my issues, finances, relationships, and health, was because when I sit with someone or I sit in a group, I've been through almost every silly, uncomfortable feeling, embarrassment, shame, sickness, that I can relate. And when people say, oh, you went through that? Or you went through that? Yeah. And then they'll say, but how did you get out of it? Well, I've always had a pull in my heart to work on myself. And that's what I did. So imagine we have this duality, the dark and the light. That's what humanity's at right now. We're moving to this 5-dimensional being that we are truly. But what has to happen is layer by layer we heal. We let go of the darkness, bring in the light. Let go of the darkness, bring it. I've been saying this for about 4 years now, right? You guys get it. There's work to be done. Well, eventually we're going to go through this eye of the needle. You can't go in there with lots of density, so we have to do the healing. So that's been my message. We heal. And we've been doing beautiful healings for almost every week for the last 4 years. Now, going back to my issues, my health issues went away. Well, actually, with just beam therapy, to be quite honest, because it was my mind that was creating my issues. I have a very powerful mind. I can manifest beauty, I can manifest chaos. And if something's not going right, I can make this body extremely sick very fast. And for those of you know, I had to go through, I instantly I gave myself shingles for the third time before I was 50. In my 30s, I had it again twice in my 40s. How is that possible? Because my mind can create chaos, which creates unease, causes disease in the body. Now, as I was going through my healing journey, I was always guided to look at the things that scared me, to look at the things that were horrendous, I didn't want to look at. So what happened along my healing journey? Thankfully, my body healed, because what I realized is my thoughts need to stay positive, because when I go negative, my body falls apart. So a lesson learned. When I was about 4 years old, 5 years old, I learned that just when you're staying happy, you see angels. When you get low or sad, you see devils or dark things. I didn't understand it was vibration then. But that was part of my learning. But I learned we need to stay happy. So I used to try to keep everyone happy, because let's keep our vibration. But when life comes at you and traumas come at you, you start to wobble, you go down and you go into darkness. And it can be 3 weeks of some really scary stuff. So you start to learn, hey, I'm controlling my reality. So what's going on? Then we go back to sleep into programming, and we come back into, awareness. Then we go back to sleep. So we're kind of going at our own pace. There are some people that go through their journey faster. Mine was long. And I went through all those experiences and challenges in my life for a reason, because I needed to. That's my journey. I've come to accept it completely. And actually, I'm kind of proud of it, that I survived it. And do I want to relive it again? No, I don't want to relive it again, but I'm glad I went through it, and I'm glad I am where I am now. Now, first thing to heal out of those 3 pillars was my health. I've kind of mastered my health. Sure, I do cough. It's usually my throat chakra still healing. And it happens, and I'm completely okay with it. I will take clients. I'll still do videos, whether my voice is clear or raspy. It's just part of who I am. But the major issues I had have gone. Very healthy body. It listens because I stay as clear as possible. My relationships, that was the second huge issue. 2 failed relationships. Realized that I would love to walk into dangerous relationships, unhealthy relationships, in any type of scenario. There was this duality within me that would pull me into these things, or maybe it was the way I was thinking, but that's what happened. I learned through those relationships. So over time, they healed. And I had to hit rock bottom for them to heal. Now, some of my relationships were so long that I was like, well, I'm doing the right thing. I'm being compassionate and kind like I'm supposed to be. And I'm holding the light as much as I can. So why am I doing anything wrong? Well, I had a big realization. You're not loving yourself. You love everyone and everything, but you've excluded yourself. I had put myself in separation. So I'm not doing what I was preaching. Here I am, love everyone, love everything. You have to love yourself. So that took a while to learn, and it's still part of my learning. So my relations started to get better. And I, have now a beautiful man in my life that respects me and loves me and holds me so high in high regard. And sometimes I have to pinch myself and say, I acknowledge, I appreciate, and I allow this. But do I really deserve everything I have? Do I really deserve this beautiful house? Do I really deserve my clients? So there's still a deserving issue, an unworthy issue. So I'm thinking, well, I'm working through it, like everyone else. It's a theme I came in with. And there's a lot of us that came in with some pretty big themes. Now, self worth, self respect, self boundaries, a lot of us have that. And it's very challenging because it shows up in relationships, in health, and in finances. So we heal, we grow. I'm always working on myself. There's not a day that goes by that I don't do some type of work on myself. And sometimes things bubble up and I let them go and I acknowledge and I thank. And I always think, like, how much more do I have to go? It's kind of an endless process. But it does get better because imagine you have all this resistance. You're in this big, big cloud of darkness. Every time you do work, you're taking some of that out. So it might be 2 miles long and now it might be only a foot long, but you're still kind of in it. But you're seeing things get better and better and better. So you want to focus on the good. You want to stay in the good zone. But then things bubble up and they kind of make you wobbly. But if you don't look at those real big monsters, those big issues, those blind spots where you don't want to look because it's too scary and you just want to repress and run away, they're just going to magnify. So in 2020, Dr. Beatty introduced me to Dr. Stone and her husband. I was intrigued by their work. I had to take their course. I went to Ohio, stayed with them for 8 days and did all this work and learned about the scariest things on earth, cult energy. It was terrifying, but I just needed to know it. And what that brought me was an experience of a lifetime to get over one of my biggest fears, which were cults and that satanic stuff and that stuff I didn't even really understand, because why would anyone want to be mean to somebody else? It made no sense. Why can't we just all spread love and light and live in rainbows? That's what I wanted to live in. But I had to look at the shadow side of humanity that I was terrified to look at. So in 2020, I had a huge learning. I had to go through an event with a client who was trying to leave a cult that almost took my life and caused chaos in my family, which probably has some trauma still because of that. Now, I overcame it. My guides taught me how to overcome it. I was told by other healers from other places, saying, how did you survive that? No one survives when that energy comes to attack. But I did, and I learned. So I am no longer scared of dark energy. I understand how it works. It doesn't scare me. That's checked off. Done. Brenda continues her healing every day, every day, every day, every day. And then what happens? My finances. Now, I've been a single mom for a long time, and I want to give my kids, I didn't want them to have lack issues like I did. So what did I do? I got into debt. I borrowed money from my mom. I did all that stuff. I'm trying to get out of it. Then I get hit with lawyer costs, this cost. Every time I try to get ahead, it's like something happens. I'm like, wait a second. I have been sending love and light to humanity. I've been doing this. I've been doing good. I've been working on myself every single day. What am I missing? So when you won't look at that blind spot, what does the universe do? It puts you between a rock and a hard place, all right? Until you can no longer ignore it. So recently I had another revelation. And I sat with my guides. I was in the labyrinth, in the middle of the labyrinth, and I stayed there for, I think it was 3 hours, but it only felt like 20 minutes. But I had a lesson. And what was the lesson? You cannot ignore the obvious. You have to know your value. Do you know who you are? Do you know how you serve? What is your mission? And they gave it to me laid out like I've never seen it before. I've done this on many different planets. I'm like a traveler. I go and I help all different civilizations. That's why I never really understood humanity and why I don't like the darkness. And, but all of us are magnificent beings. We've all come in with our missions. I'm just blessed to know mine. And what they said they don't, the way I receive the information, because it's a download. So it's like they're giving you books and books of information, and it's coming down, and then you have to sort it there. And you have to, so it took me about a week to really start to sort through everything. It's like, wow, this is what my oversouls, what I came to learn, what I came to teach, how I came. So over time, I've learned some things. That's why I started group coaching. That was just all these synchronicities started that. It's not like I said, I'm going to do group coaching one day. It's a passion and inspiration that starts. And I learned group coaching because I was guided to take somebody else's course to learn how powerful group coaching is. I know group healing's powerful. I love group healing. You guys know that. I'm here, I do it, and I love it. But group coaching is just as powerful. But what is it that's the missing link here? My lack of self-love, my lack of self-worth. Now, with that, I realized it's so clear. It's been staring me in the face. I can't offer the free group calls anymore because when I do that, there's missing an exchange of energy. I'm not loving myself. And when that came, that realization, I went to Asim, my partner. I went to my family and said, guys, I get it. I can't offer the free call anymore, although I love doing it. I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm doing it out of my self-love, lack of self-love. And they all said, bingo, about time you got it. We've been telling you that. But I'm so friggin' stubborn that the universe has to throw me in a corner where I have to look at what am I doing wrong. If you can learn your lessons easier than me, then do so. The lessons, always work on yourself. Never give up on yourself. You're a magnificent being of light. We all are. You have your mission. Whatever it is, it's there. You just have to raise up to it and you'll start to do it. You're powerful. Your words are powerful. Your thoughts are powerful. Your actions are powerful. Be careful how you use them. I don't want to hear any of you saying, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Stop those words. You can do whatever you put your mind to, and then I can't afford it. I used to say that all the time. I can't afford that. Well, of course I can't afford it because I'm not allowing the positivity to come through. Abundance is there for every single one of us. It is our birthright. Health is there for every single one of us. It's our birthright. Beautiful relationships are there. It's our birthright. But if there's something missing in your life, you have to look at the blind spot you don't want to look at. It's scary. And the negative beliefs are going to trick you. They're going to tell you, if you look there, oh man, you are not going to survive. Because if you look, you're going to know the truth. But if your higher self, your soul's asking you to look, your heart's asking you, like, do the work, it's never going to bring you into a path of harm. The negative belief just uses tricks to lie to you so you don't move forward. This is what I've learned. So I'm not getting rid of the healing calls. I love doing them. I'm going to make them on Zoom. There's going to be registration and a small fee with them. It's $25 Canadian per call. And I get it. There's financial issues. I'm there too. Trust me. But if you can't afford all of them, try to get on one of them. But also the replays, I'm going to leave the replays on there. And you understand quantum healing, time and space doesn't matter. So there's all those, there's 108, actually I think there's more free calls that are on there. And they're powerful. You can just flip and grab a new one. I'd love you to join the new thing. I'm calling it Quantum Healing and Renewal Circle. You know, what is quantum healing? Because people use it all the time, right? Quantum healing uses quantum physics. It uses energy medicine, vibrational medicine. It uses spiritual healing. It's a combination of all those things that we pull in. Quantum healing is we can do it without time or space. You can go back to a replay and get the same energy, like it's the real time. We are in a really cool time on Earth. A fabulous time. And I'm on the other side. This is, yes, my finances really went bang, bang to get my attention. And I'm not even embarrassed to say it, because if you can use me as a learning example to stop being stubborn and look at why your body's hurting. Do you know some people are so scared of pain that they don't want to look at it, which makes them go through pain? It's so paradoxical, so ironic. So, you don't want to look at something, but it just gets bigger and bigger and you have to look at it. So be courageous. Look at those things you don't want to look at. You can do it. I did it. Everything was falling apart. And I am in another place where I am now loving life. And yes, I have challenges, but I ask every day, where do I have to look? Show me what I need to learn. When you ask, you will receive the answers. You will. But you need the courage to look and ask and then listen. And it might not be like direct with a download, but it might be your wise child says something to you, your spouse says something, a person on the street, it's in a song. Listen to the clues. Don't be scared of them. Don't let negative beliefs stop you from your growth. This is the time of choice. We are going to be on a track soon. Right now, all the tracks are available to us. But soon, we're going to be on the track, and that's the track we stay on. Now, I always tell people I'm on the ascension track. I'm moving forward, and I will do whatever it takes because I'm done with this duality. I'm done with the hurt. I'm done with the pain and suffering I see. I'm so empathic, and so many of you are. It hurts to see that. Do we want to stay in that? Are you not bored of it? But the way out is saying yes to your magnificence. And how do you do that? You heal layer by layer, and you never give up on yourself. Never, never, never. Now, some people just can't do it. And it's okay, because there's no right or wrong. Because some souls need to stay and keep learning. It's our higher selves really determine what we need to do to kind of get out of the way. Talk to your higher self. Am I ready? How far can I go? I'm going to do as much work as I can. So we don't want to get mad or angry or judgmental of the people who haven't woken up, of the people who may not wake up, and with the people that may want to stay. I mean, I have people challenge me and say, why would I want to get out of duality? It would be so boring. Okay, well, that is their preference. So who am I to say they're wrong? They're not wrong. I don't know where their soul is. I don't know their soul's journey. I don't know their history. So I listen, send them love. I don't have to agree with them, but I don't have to disagree with them. I resonate with this, they resonate with that. We're coming to a place where all the separation in humanity is going to break away. I don't care what color people are, what religion they are, where they live, how much money. Who cares? We are all human beings, and we are all in this together because it's human consciousness. It's about pure love for everyone and everything, but you need to include you in it. So if you're noticing you're doing all the right things and still things are falling apart, go within. What are you not doing for yourself? Now, we put ourselves first, but we have responsibilities, right? So we still need to be in the 3D world and be in our responsibilities. Trust me. I love meditating. I could meditate for 3 hours a day if I could. But I have responsibilities. I have to do my 3D duties. That's just the way it works. And I work my butt off, and I'm thinking, why is it not working? Well, sometimes we get those aha moments. So that's why I'm changing my offerings. And it's not because I don't love all of you. I do. It's also because now I'm learning to love myself. And it feels really good to say that, because that's what I teach. And it's taken me 15 years to have this aha moment because relationships fixed, my health fixed, my finances were still screwy. I'm like, what is it? What am I missing? And I got another aha moment. So, and there you have it. And I will send out an email and let everyone know. But you're more than welcome. The Zoom call is going to be a little more intimate. And it's going to be it's kind of going back to what it used to be, because there's registration. It's different. They will not be posted, but they'll be posted on YouTube, but unlisted. So anyone who joined can be on it. So if someone's having a question that's personal, it'll stay just in that group that joined. Also, my 8-week group coaching, which is new, which has been divinely guided, is going to be really exciting. And that starts this Thursday. If you feel called, join. And I believe it's going to have a beautiful community, and it might grow, and it might be huge, it might be small, and I'm just going with it because I'm just following the passion in my heart, that next step. We always grow and change and learn and grow and change and learn. It's just who we are. We are infinite beings that are always going to be on a journey. When you go to get a goal, once you're there, you want to go up and you want to do it again. So why not enjoy the journey along to that goal, and then enjoy the journey to the next goal, and enjoy the journey to the next goal, right? So, all right. So here we go. I'm going to get into the healing, and they have been so powerful. The energy that's coming through is like my connections getting stronger and stronger every day. I do so much work and I love it, but my vibrations and wow. So I'm out here today with my heart wide open and with these beings of light here, sending you all love.